Referee Jim Molinet bringing the fighters together. Chuck Hull, in running down the records of the fighters, mentioned Carl Jones' one loss, and his only loss took place in his third professional fight back in 1983. He lost by decision to a pretty fair contender, Fred Hutchings.
Fred Hutchins, a very acceptable opponent because he was big at that time.
So Michael Nunn in the blue. Record of 13-0, 10 by knockout. And in the black trunks, Carl Jones, 23 years old, out of Los Angeles. Nunn has excellent boxing skills, not a knockout specialist, although his KO ratio is impressive. Likes to use much movement in the ring, and here he goes. Looks to circle and backpedal, flick the jab. He's very elusive.
He's supposed to be a very fine fighter who doesn't knock out people with one punch, just sort of wears them out. He's a quick puncher. And people in Las Vegas and out west here very high on this young man. Prospect of his future is very bright. There you go. Now we're looking at a guy who's got fast hands and fast feet.
Get that right hand, Mike. Come on, get that right hand out of the face.
Turn your toes. Stay out the inside, Mike.
Nunn likes to dance, which has led to stamina problems. He has become winded in the later rounds of the bout, and he has run out of gas, but he's a technician who rarely gets hit.
And should we think that it's an easy fight he's in, Carl Jones is, they claim, his toughest fight, in tough, because this is one of those kids, he's 16-4, but he comes to fight, and he can put you out with one punch.
Mike, you stop punching, you move. Get off the rope.
Oh, a big left hand, and Nunn is set down. Now, according to Nunn, he had never been knocked down.
Well, having said that he can do it with one punch, he must have hurt us because he let fly that one punch. And here is Nunn, who has number 14 written on his trunks, in trouble.
Move, Mike.
And Nunn stepping it up against Jones. So Michael Nunn, the 22-year-old from Davenport, Iowa, now living in North Hollywood, California, coming in as a highly regarded prospect, is put down here in this opening round. We're scheduled for 10, put down by Carl Jones.
Come on, Mike, keep moving.
Norman Henry, the manager of Carl Jones, said he's willing to take this chance because he thinks that Carl Jones has been underrated and he belongs with good competition.
Don't hang on. Come on, Mike. Get out of there. That's it. Move, Mike, move. Don't stand there.
And we have mentioned earlier that Nunn is one who rarely gets hit. But Jones having no difficulty. Final seconds, first round.
Jab, jab.
Yesterday, buying an IBM XT was a good business decision. But today, the Tandy 1200 from Radio Shack can give you the same power and performance for about half the price. The 1200 runs the same IBM XT compatible software, is backed by a company committed
with the fight doctor, Bernie Pacheco. Michael Nunn in the blue and Carl Jones in the black. Not only had Nunn never been down before, but he had never been hurt in a previous bout.
Well, that's what you call learning the business. You got to see what a fighter's got after he goes down. Does he come up fighting? And he did. He came up, he survived the round. In fact, he was winning that round toward the end, although you have to give it to Carl Jones.
Michael Nunn, the southpaw, in the blue. Carl Jones in the black trunks. Jones, 23 years old, from Las Vegas. His last fight back in October, he came up with a 10th round TKO of Kevin Perry that he says was his toughest fight.
Well, right now, He is giving a boxing lesson to Carl Jones. He's got a very fast hand. He's got an accurate jab.
Get off them ropes. Jab, jab, jab.
Wonder if he's going to get over that habit of putting the number of his expected victory on his trunks. There's 14. He's had 13 and 0. Boy, it's putting a load of Kanahara on you.
There you go.
That's a new one. Have you ever seen that before?
Kanahara?
No, that's good.
Not the rope. Get out of there.
Let's see, Las Vegas time.
There you go.
It is just past 11 in the morning. It's kind of a strange time for two guys to be in the ring fighting each other.
He's gonna do that, Mike. There you go.
Jones is getting hammered with Nunn, but Nunn's punches aren't really sharp. They're so fast that they aren't hard, whereas Jones, knowing that he can load up and put this guy down on one punch, is willing to take those little bitty-fat punches to land his one big hook as he did in the first round.
Give him the rope. Get off the rope. Bring that uppercut there.
And when you look at the records of these two fighters, Michael Nunn has had a couple of impressive victories. He stopped veteran Mexican Marcos Geraldo in the 5th round, and he won by decision over George Amparo, another experienced hand.
Wonderful combinations on the part of Nunn. I think his left-handed stance his southpaw stance is confusing Carl Jones quite a bit. He just doesn't know what to make of that right jab that keeps popping in there.
Get out of there. Move.
It'll be interesting to see how many left-handers Jones has fought before this, because he is totally bewildered. He doesn't know where the punches are coming from.
Jab, 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 jab. There you go.
Nice left hand by Nunn, who has come back strong in the 2nd round.
There you go, big guy.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
I was brought up to be very careful about the medicines I take. So when it comes to hemorrhoids, I put my faith in Preparation H. Preparation H helps shrink delicate inflamed hemorrhoidal tissue. It often relieves that frustrating pain and itch for hours without the anesthetics which some brands have. Anesthetics which may cause irritating reactions in some people. I'm careful about medicine, so I put my faith in doctor-recommended Preparation H.
In the corner of Carl Jones, his trainer Perry Smith with some strong words of advice between rounds.
I'm afraid he didn't need that advice. What he needed was what to do with his left-hander. I mean, how do you block these right jabs? Where do you circle to? How do you move around? He's standing right in front of him, standing straight up. He's not bending down. He's not giving him movement. So the guy's got a heavy bag right in front of him. He can do anything he wants to, and that's what he's doing.
Mike. Keep peppering. It'll happen, kid.
That's it. Over and over again, we see the corner story tells the tale. Nobody instructs these kids what to do. And so all they're doing is saying, step in there, do better. Well, do better is not good enough. How do I do it?
Yeah, we just heard that echoed from the corner. Step in.
He's too
Carl
far
Jones
away.
was still right.
He said, yeah, but I've got to eat that jab on the way in. What do I do about the jab? Nobody's telling him to bend down. He's got to bend and come in punching once he bends.
There you go.
He's got to give movement. He's got to move either to one side or the other.
Get up there.
Michael Nunn in the blue has stepped up the pace after he was surprisingly put down in round one by Carl Jones in the black trunks. And Nunn now looking very confident. He's counting punches as he lands.
Nunn is fighting like there's two fighters that I saw that didn't have a punch that just obliterated everybody. Muhammad Ali was one and Luis Rodriguez was the other. That's the way they fought. Just pop, 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 pop. Pretty soon the other guy gets so tired he goes down almost from frustration. But you don't think he's going to knock out anybody with the kind of punches he's throwing now.
Keep that head moving. There you go.
Occasionally, Jones will get the left hand in, but it's all Nunn. Flicking the jab and on his toes and in constant movement.
Isn't it strange, all Nunn or none at all?
You are too deep for me at this hour.
It's early in the morning on Las Vegas. What else can you talk about?
And we're coming up on 30 seconds remaining in this third round. It's scheduled for 10.
Dancing feet on the part of Nunn. He just barely touches the canvas. He is a thing of beauty if you like speed and fast boxing. Reminds me of Willie Pastrana. He just glided along, bipping and bopping until he finished the fight.
Look that up. Get him out of here into that jab all night, Mike. Get him out of here.
Body. That's it. It's been target practice for Michael Nunn
Up already, Mike.
throughout these last two rounds.
Keep working. Pepper. He's blinking, kid. There you go.
Welcome back, Brad. All those trips you made paid off. The Avcon people just called and gave us the project. Check your top drawer. There's one more trip I want you to take. Aloha, Brad, and thanks.
When there's something special, people know it.
I've heard creative people are miserable money managers. On the contrary, my IRA from Metropolitan Life provides a tax deduction now and a generous retirement income. IRA? MetLife? They guarantee all the money I put in, no matter how much. MetLife sells IRAs? Maybe you should get one. With what I've got, I don't worry about such things. What's that? A pretty face. You'd be better off with an IRA. Get Met. It pays.
This is the home of the world-famous Clydesdales. It's a symbol of a long tradition of quality that goes into making Budweiser. Along with the finest ingredients and beechwood aging, Budweiser is brewed with a special touch of care and pride. No other brewer has such a tradition of quality to live up to. But then, no other brewer makes the king of beers. After all, this Bud's for you.
Marv Albert back in Las Vegas, where earlier we saw Robbie Sims stop John Collins at 2:46 of round number one. We are now watching a scheduled 10-rounder with middleweight prospect Michael Nunn going against Carl Jones. You saw the first 3 rounds, rounds 4 through 8, a bit on the tedious side, and we are being generous with that particular assessment. Let's pick it up, though. Now, here is round number 9. I got it. And this is round 9. We have heard many intriguing comments from the corners during the course of this fight, but the capper in the corner of Michael Nunn just a moment ago, Nunn was said, now, I don't want to see any bravado acts of bravery.
Don't play games with Mike.
Don't see any acts of bravery. And Nunn said, you don't have to worry about me. I intend to run the last 2 rounds just like I've been doing.
Look at that. Look at that.
I've heard people saying, don't fight this guy. Don't get brave.
1, 2, bing, bing, hook right.
I don't want any acts of bravery.
There you go.
Rather flowery way to put it.
That's it. Away, Mike. Get out of there. There you go. There you go. Good, Michael.
crowd has been very compassionate because Nunn has gone through this type of fight in the past and has heard the boos in Los Angeles.
I don't think that bothers this guy. I think he's preparing himself for a major league career, and these are his training fights. He certainly is a fine defensive fighter. Look at this part of it. Just playing, and just having fun with this guy.
There you go, big guy. Bring that up behind that hook.
But he has to have more than that if he's going to be in the major leagues. He's got to develop some kind of punch. He's got to develop some kind of offense that'll win fights. When he's in there with a tough guy, he can't get away with this.
Can a punch be developed?
No, what you can do, though, is begin to throw it more seriously than he's throwing. He hasn't thrown a serious punch. Nothing hard. Everything has been tended just to hit the target. There has not been a punch with knockout intention thrown in this fight by Nunn. That's another great one. Nunn is done.
Get off them ropes, Mike.
It's good. Freddie, this fight and the weather have gotten to you.
Move, Mike, move. Use that middle of that ring.
Nunn's boxing, though, designed to score points, and he did have a terrific amateur career. And you can understand why, winning 168 of 176 fights. And what a berth as an alternate on the 1984 U.S. Olympic team. Narrowly beaten out by Virgil Hill, who ended up with a silver medal.
Get off them ropes.
Must have been some fight, because this guy should be a tremendous amateur fighter. That's what he's fighting, amateur fights right here. You're seeing an amateur fighter who has not gotten rid of the amateur, I need to just touch him to get points technique. He's got to get into being a pro somewhere along the line.
Get out of there. Don't stand there for him. Move, baby. Get out of there, Mike, and move.
Coming up to the end of round 9.
There you go, Jam, move. There you go.
In Alamance County, North Carolina, Honda lawnmowers are assembled from the wheels up. Beginning with the Honda overhead valve engine, each precision part is fitted and assembled to exacting tolerances. Then, the final critical step that determines whether a machine will meet the Honda standard. The Clara Johnson test. If Clara pulls and it starts, it's a Honda.
Ship it.
The Honda lawnmower. It's easy to start, or else.
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
You don't want those fries.
What are you gonna do, Jack? Eat your way to college?
Really? I'm going to college on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The new GI Bill.
Are you using that pickle?
Now for young men and women in the armed forces. It's a great place to start. See your local recruiter.
10th and final round. Michael Nunn in the blue and Carl Jones
He's got to try
in the black.
Mike. You move, baby.
Back in round 1. Jones with a left hook, landing flush on Nunn, knocked him down. Since then, it's been the boxing skills of Nunn, although it has not been exciting. In fact, it's been a yawner from the spectator point of view, but it is Nunn piling up the points and with the sizable lead here in the final round.
And if you're left with one impression, it is the excellent condition of Nunn and his cord-like legs. They just, look at this, 10th round, and he's still bipping and bopping and dancing around. Frustration written all over Carl Jones.
Give some work, Carl. Here we go.
It's depressing to think that the highlight of the fight was in the first round, and it went downhill after that.
We discussed earlier the fact that Nunn has had stamina problems in the past because he is constant movement, but does not seem to be having any difficulty with his stamina here in this 10th and final round. Still on his toes, still able to dance, and still not able to punch.
Keep your hands busy, Mike. There you go.
And not trying to punch hard. He's just not putting it in there. Nice. Jones finally get him in the corner. Look at him. The guy moving him around with an illegal hold on the neck. But that's a Muhammad Ali trick. Ali did that his entire career.
And here is Jones. That's the first left hook he's attempted in many rounds.
Finally, after that 9 rounds. It feels like 9 months. At least they're giving birth to a stillbirth to a baby here of boring proportions. That's the first time that he really threw something in anger and reached for it. At least he tried.
You got 30 seconds. Get up them ropes.
There's 30 seconds to go, and Jones still can't get himself close enough to punch it.
Now you're believing the corner. The man is giving inaccurate times. Bertie, this has gotten to you. That's the correct time on the screen.
So I lied.
There you go, Mike. Yeah.
Michael Nunn out of Davenport, Iowa. Now living in North Hollywood, California. Carl Jones from Los Angeles will go the distance.
There you go.
In a very dull fight. Final seconds.
20 seconds. Get up there, bro.
And now the corner says 20 seconds, which is what he said 45 seconds ago.
Whatever you want to lock in, lock out, lock up, or lock down, remember, master locks are tough under tough conditions, tough under pressure, tough under fire.
You can manage your business with the Tandy 6000 from Radio Shack, a powerful multi-user system that allows your office to work together by sharing one computer with word processing and data processing for strategic planning and control. Information sharing is essential for success, and the Tandy 6000 gives you a wealth of information for sound business decisions. Tandy computers, in business, for business, only at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
Sinus congestion.
I can breathe again.
Ah, the sweet smell of success. Get it with 12-hour Nostrella and Nostro with the one-way spray pump. It delivers a measured dose of penetrating mist every time. Squeeze sprays don't. You can't buy more effective sinus medicine. Ah, the sweet smell of success. Only 12-hour Nostrella and Nostro regular or mild have the one-way pump. It's the most advanced relief you can give your nose.
Success.
Great moments in sports are here on NBC.
Our tradition covers the sports world for all the world to see. So when America watches sports, it turns to NBC. America loves its sports. America. NBC style. America loves its sports. America. NBC style.
Back in Las Vegas, we're set for the decision. Let's go to the ring. Here's Chuck Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Chuck Giampa scores 99-91. Judge Bill Graham scores 98-91. And Judge Patricia Jarman scores 98-93 for the winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Michael Nunn.
Clear cut for Michael Nunn, who is now 14-0, winning by decision over Carl Jones. And earlier today, in the main event, it was Robbie Sims stopping John Collins in round number 1, and Freddie Sims looked very sharp right from the start, but Collins didn't look right, and we made a comment regarding that left eye, which did not look good.
There was a cut under that left eye that was covered by makeup. The ring doctor wiped off the makeup, said that's a cut, but it's not bad enough. We'll go ahead and let you fight. But obviously that was going to be a factor in this fight had it gone longer.
Covered by makeup?
That's right. Max factor number 3, I think he said.
All right, let's take another look at that first round, the only round of the bout as we called it earlier. Here it is, Sims and Collins. And Robbie Sims getting set to meet in this scheduled 12-round bout. And that's That's a nasty-looking left eye on John Collins.
Yeah, there's a little cut under the left eye already. The commission doctor has said that he saw it, he examined it, he thought it was all right, no problem. And of course, it will be a problem as the fight progresses because the tissue is already cut.
And Robbie Sims, like his half-brother, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, has used mostly a southpaw approach. And like Hagler, he does switch hits. Sims with good hand speed, usually in top condition. At times, he's been hurt by lack of concentration and also a vulnerable chin. Sims at 25-4 with one draw, 18 by knockout, and going right out at the 25-year-old John Collins. In his last fight in October in his hometown of Chicago, came up with a fifth-round knockout of Mike Landini. Collins breaking Landini's jaw. And Collins, as you may have noticed, has a contingent from the Windy City.
He can bang in this first few rounds. We're going to see some action. There goes Collins. Collins has been hit.
Sims with the left hand right on target. Collins telling his corner he's all right. And he's not all right as he is pummeled with the right hand and put down in this opening round.
Too much time left at 1:35, and Sims is steaming. He is up like I've never seen him before. But Collins always dangerous with that right hand. Remember, Collins can knock you out with one punch.
Coming up on a minute remaining in this first round, and Robbie Sims has landed on John Collins.
Long time to go with Sims as hot as he is connecting solidly, and Collins is showing the effect of those punches.
A strong right hand again, followed up by the combination. This looks to be Tony Simpson all over again for John Collins.
Sure does. He is just about out on his feet. Pearl permitting him on.
The 3 knockdown rule has been waived. Collins has gone down once and in big trouble right here. And Pearl might call it. Let's see. That's it. All over. It is a first-round knockout for Robbie Sims. John Collins never got into it. And as we mentioned right at the start, both Collins and Sims have had their ups and downs. And the word from the fight crowd is that they are talking about a projected matchup with Robbie Sims going against, yes, Roberto Duran. We'll be back to get Ferdy's thoughts on that subject right after we pause for these messages.